Delay is a timing modifier we can place on queues, which will cause them to wait a specified amount of time before beginning their fade. We can put a delay on different parts of queue timings, and we'll look at some examples here. First, let's go ahead and go into queue 6. Go to queue 6, enter. And we're going to make a few changes to this queue. We're going to say 2 plus 4 plus 10, full. Turn those on. And I want to turn on group 20 to full, enter. That's our cyc. And I want to turn that pink. So I'm going to open up a color picker and choose a pink. There we go. And we are going to record this as queue 21 with a label of pink cyc. Okay, for our next queue, let's take group 1 minus 4. That means minus channel 4 out. Group 10 out. And now we're going to record next, which will give us queue 22 with a delay, the key next to time here, of 3. Enter. In our PSD, we can see there's a small 3 in front of our queue time. Since we didn't specify the queue time, it's going to be our default time of 5 there. And also notice that the duration of the queue is 8. That's because when we run this queue, it's going to delay for 3 seconds before beginning the 5-second queue time for a total of 8 seconds. Let's watch how that plays out. So let's go to queue 21, enter. And once you're there, go ahead and press go. Notice that the 3 is going to count down, and then the 5 seconds will start to count down. So for those first 3 seconds, nothing is actually happening in the queue. This is helpful if a stage manager needs to call lighting and sound cues at the same time, but the lights need to go slightly after the sound cue. That way, both operators can press their button at the same time, and the cues will go when they should. Let's look at a couple other examples. So we'll say group 10 at 50, group 1 out, and I want to record 22.5. We'll do a point queue here with a time of 2 and a delay of 3/5. So in our PSD, we can see the small 3 and 5 in front of our up and down times, which are both 2 in this case. So anything fading up will delay 3 seconds before fading in 2 seconds, and anything fading down will delay 5 seconds before fading in 2 seconds. And again, our duration column is going to show us the complete time of the queue between when we press go and everything is finished, which right now is 7 seconds. Let's write one more queue. So we'll say group 10 out, 8 at 50, and group 2 at 4 at 40. And now let's select our cyc, group 20, enter, and I want those to be blue now. There we go. And now let's record 23 with a time of 3/1, 3 up and 1 down. And I want to put a delay on just the color change. So we're going to say color delay 4, enter. Let's go to queue 22, and we'll see how all that works out when we run those queues. 22.5, go. Now things are fading up after that shorter delay, and now things are fading down after the longer 5-second delay. And 23, go. Immediately, our intensities fade up and down as they should, but our color is waiting on that 4-second delay before changing on our cyc. Delay is a great way to add some timing details to your queues as you go through your queue stack.